Hey everybody, how's it going? Chuck here. Today we are going to change the Serpentine belt on the front of my little YJ 4.0 liter. Those who haven't seen the rest of my videos, this one's dry rotted, cracked. It's way past due being changed. Don't know if, just kind of see it. You can see kind of the cracks in the belt right here. You're on borrowed time if your belt looks like that. So we are going to change a belt today. Now before you change it, these things are here. These Jeeps have a manual tensioning system that works off the power steering pump here. They don't have like on the GMs and some Fords that have the spring tensioner. So kind of what you want to do is grab hold of your belt first. Kind of pull it up and down, flex it, twist it. The reason you want to do that, you want to feel how tight it is. This will give you an idea of whenever you put your new belt on, of how tight you need to make your belt when you go tighten everything back up. So first things first, we can loosen this up. There's some bolts back here we got to loosen, but to be honest with you, the first thing you really need to do, let's get this airbox out of the way. I still got my factory airbox for now, but this is a good time too. You can also see how to change your air filter. First thing we want to do, I got that clip right there already popped. Unsnap that one, snap that one, unsnap that one, and another one, and there's one right here on the end. I've already gotten it loose. Alright, that's all your clips. Now what you want to do is get the screwdriver off in the camera. Right here, you really don't want to grab hold of it like this right here. Starts tugging and pulling because you're risking breaking this plastic back here. I mean, it's a 91 model, so I'm sure that plastic right there is built on the brittle side. But if you wedge your screwdriver in behind it a little bit, you can kind of work with it. And once you get it broken loose, just kind of pop it out there. Not a problem. Alright, back here, see this hose? Comes down to the valve cover. Grab it and just, most of the time, just slide right out. So you just want to pull that out. Okay, this is where this goes down to the throttle body. It connects to your airbox. This little clip right here, what you want to do is get your screwdriver under the back side of that lip. And if you wedge it up a little bit, it'll come unsnapped and you can loosen it up. And from there, just take your finger and push back on the top. There it is. Then you grab your airbox. There's your air filter. So if you want to change your air filter, you pull it out. This right here is like seriously overdue apparently. It's nasty looking. Take your old filter out, put your new filter in, and put everything back together like it was. That's how you'll change your air filter. But we're going one step further today because we're taking the whole airbox out. So now what we want to do, get this stuff out of my way. Got a clip here. Pop that one loose, unhook it, down there at the bottom, unhook that. Down here you got another one, unhook that one. And on the back side here, there's another one. So this is where the Wranglers have an advantage over the Cherokees. The Cherokees, you got to take a bunch of bolts out. Wranglers, you ain't got to do all that crazy mess. Alright, once you got all them popped loose, you got your air intake that goes in here. Take your airbox and just kind of wiggle it back and forth while pulling toward your front, toward the steering wheel. And they'll come right loose. Except for a little hook that's re-hooked up back up down here. There we go. Ta-da! Airbox is out. And sit down the hood and get it out of the way. Alright, now we got to get the belt loose. Here's what you got to do. You got one bolt here. Bolt here. You can see it past the fuel lines here. Right there it is. See my finger, and way down here's another one. You got to loosen those bolts up. And if you look way down here, there's another bolt there. And that's your tensioner bolt. That's what actually makes your belt loosen and tighten. And what I'm not sure how I'm going to get to is that, if I can do this or not. Alright, see right there at the end of my finger? That is a nut on a stud right there. You have to take that nut loose, otherwise the belt will not loosen up. So you got to loosen that nut right there and those other bolts I showed you. So let me get the tools together and we'll start that. Alright, I've already started loosening my bolts. Like I said, it's this bolt right here. That bolt I showed you that's way back up underneath that pulley. Actually, it's a nut on a stud back there. Bolt there. And bolt way back yonder, right there. Okay, and so far, all mine are 13 millimeter. So, yours should be too, unless something's been changed. So now what we're doing... Okay, after loosening the bolts that I showed you in the last shot, now I'm on the tensioner. Let me get down here a little closer for you. This is actually where the belt tension happens. I'm loosening the belt right now. So you see, I've got the ratchet pressure on it. I'm pushing this way. That will loosen the pressure on it. Ratchet comes back, ratchet, ratchet, ratchet. And the thing comes off. You come back this way. That's going to loosen the tension on your belt. So let me get this belt tension off this end. We'll take the belt off. Okay, I've got the tension off the belt, and well, pretty much. I mean, it's still got a little bit on it, but that tensioner bolt is being very cranky about coming loose. So I don't want to push my luck and twist something too. All right, if you see, I can just about work it off now. Only thing you really got to do if you get loose enough is rotate it like that a little bit. So I switch hands. You can just about work it off like that right there. I also took that top bolt out, which gave me just a little bit more too. But you can just work it right off. See that? You just keep working and it'll fall right off. Now, one thing you can also do whenever you go put the belt back on, if your Jeep still has the belt routing, if not, I'll hold it still so you can look at it for a moment in case you need for reference. There you go. Mine does not have air. Never even came out with it, and I don't even want it. So, alright, I'm going to pull this belt off real quick. Alright, I'm going to show you all that trick. Showed you I had the belt kind of hanging off there a little while ago. Just a moment. The belt is loose enough, the tension on the power steering pump, and everything, the belt is loose enough that if you can take your pulley now and just twist and rotate it, look at that. It fell off. So let me snake this bad boy out of here and put the new one in. I'll show you how to run it back on. Be right back. Alright, here's a quick peek at a good belt versus bad belt. I don't think it's too hard to distinguish which one's the bad one. Look how deep those cracks are on that one. Let me get this one over here so you can a little better view. Get that out of the way. See that? And if you could feel this belt, I mean, it's like 80 grit sandpaper. The rubber texture is so rough. This belt is dried out, and on borrowed time, it's getting ready to pop for too long. And you want, when you see this, get it changed. Better doing it now than figuring out how to do it on the side of the road. So, get that down out of the way. Okay, you see the new belt. Kind of got a flat finish on the back side, not glossy like the other belt is. Bear with me, I'm looking for something. If it helps you any, there's the part number for my belt. Now, it may be different for yours depending if there's any pulley configuration changes. You may have air. It could be different. Also, look at the ribbing here. Good, flexible. I bend it way back. No cracks. The rubber almost has a good, almost sticky feel to it. Good belt. So, alright, I'm going to snake this baby on real quick. Be back with you in a moment. Alright, we got the belt on. Only tricky place is down, way down there. Let me get some point out for you. Right there. This is the crank here, the crankshaft, the harmonic balancer. Then we got this thing here. I'm not exactly sure for what it's for, except for being a major pain in the tail and being in the way. What I ended up doing is taking the belt and holding it, stretching it out flat, and go under. It drops in an edge and goes under that. That's the only tricky place. Other than that, you run the belt like this. It goes around the harmonic balancer down there. You see right here, here's the belt. It comes up around the alternator, under this idler pulley, around the power steering pump. Then from down there, what you cannot see is that going off the harmonic balancer, the back side, the smooth side of the belt, comes around the water pump pulley here in the fan. So it comes off the top of the harmonic balancer here, comes off the top of that, and the back side, smooth side of the belt, runs here and comes around the power steering pump. The easiest way I put it on was I got everything done, put it on the power steering pump last. Why? Because it's right here on top. Tell you what, let me pull this belt back off real quick and I'll show you how I put it on. Alright, see how I've got halfway hung on there like that? I've kind of pulled the top part of it off. What you do, I mean, you can totally loosen the power steering pump up and make it probably a little bit easier. But the belt has enough length in it that I took and just simply walked it on, just pressed it around like that. And what you want to make sure is, on all your pulleys, they have the grooves. See how the belt's sitting down inside the grooves here? Make sure that's like that. Because I noticed when I first put it on, my alternator was off one tooth and the belt was riding up on the back side of the pulley here. So you want to make sure your belt's centered there and down there on the harmonic balancer. You want to, you know, if you have to, get underneath the bottom of it, look at it, make sure it's on the teeth right, because it will chew that belt up with a quickness. Your smooth side of your belt, it'll center itself up. Don't worry, you know, if this is, as long as it's riding kind of in the center, you don't have to be picky about the power steering, water pump here, water pump being here. You ain't gonna be picky about that because it'll center itself, because of it coming off the crank down here and off the power steering pump. It'll center itself on that pulley, so you ain't got to worry about that. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take you under the Jeep with me. We'll check it from the bottom. Okay, we're under the Jeep. We're checking the belt from under here. 9 times out of 10, it falls right in place when you get it around the crank, the harmonic balancer. Most of the time, it falls right in place. But it's a good idea to get under here and check, because if this belt right here happened to get on the back side of this edge right here, it'll shred it. It'll be very short-lived. But one way you can always tell if the belt doesn't go on quite correctly is that the belt just, it's hard to go on, even all the way up top, because it's taking up extra length of the belt from it riding on top of this ridge. If it's inside those grooves right there like it should be, everything falls right in line. So, okay, you see, it's in here correctly. You can see the grooves right there. It's inside those grooves. You see it goes up to the alternator like it should. Everything's pretty under here. Alright, let's head back up top and tighten things up. Okay, up top, no, we went to the bottom, checked everything. You see everything appears good. So actually we're good to go. Put her back together now. Now, taking this bolt out right here is not absolutely necessary. My tensioner bolt, the one that's way down at the bottom right here, was being a little cranky and hard to turn. I got to the point where the belt was just about ready to come off, so I went ahead and took this right here out, just give it a little bit extra. So at this point, we're going to put this back in. And it don't have to be tight just yet. Then that tensioner bolt right here, there it is. Get down here where you see it. Remember how I showed you the ratchet where I turned it this way was loosening. Now we're going to take the ratchet and go that. We're going to go the ratchet that way this time to tighten the belt back up. Okay, let's tighten this belt up. Remember, I showed you earlier in the video which way to loosen it, which way are we going to go to tighten it. Ah, you guys are good. See, that's right, going this way. Now I've already cranked it a little bit. It's pretty close to being the proper tightness. And you remember at the beginning of the video I showed you grab your belt and flex it, move it, twist it to see how tight you need to get it. And see, I'm there. Now one thing you don't want to do, you don't want your belt too tight. Get it too tight, the bearings in your power steering pump, your water pump right there, and your alternator on the other side, it will tear the bearings up in your alternator, power steering pump, and water pump. Not too tight. Too loose, you're subject to get something, your belts will start squealing or something like that. But that's better than tearing your bearings up. If they do squeal a little bit, you can always loosen everything back up and give it another little couple bumps to tighten her up. So now all we got to do is Tighten that bolt up. Those two that's back here that I showed you earlier, right there is one of them. Right there, down there. And that nut that's way back up underneath here, you got to tighten that one up. So I'm going to get them tightened up. It's the same ones that you loosened a few minutes ago. Alright everyone, power steering pump's done. Alright, here now we got to put the air, all the airbox assembly back together. The trick to that is, see that tube right there? It goes up inside that hole, which it's reversal of, assembly is reversal of disassembly. I mean, it's pretty straight up and simple. But one thing you'd notice, these little posts here and here, you may not have noticed it when you took it apart. These holes here and here, we see my little rubber grommets going out of this one, but it's half gone out of that one. Now more of it's gone. Oh, I don't care. Anyway, those little posts here and here go inside that hole, while you also line this up with that. Yeah, it's a little tricky, but nothing ridiculous. Finagle all this junk around so you got room to work. Okay, then you got to get that hose put up beside there. Wiggle it a little bit, it pops right in. Then I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up or not. There it goes. It just takes a little finessing, but it's in now. Then all you got to do is take these clips. These clips, hook them off to the side like that. Sorry about the camera craziness here. It's kind of hard. This is not a place where I can use the tripod. This clip goes under that. Snap. Here. Clip comes down. I'm looking for a good way to show you guys. Sorry. See the clip moving? It goes under that hook right there. Snap it up. Oh, here's the ice cream man. Then you take this hook, goes on the bottom of this pan down here. It just simply hooks on the bottom of it. There's no real tabs or no nothing. Then you get up here, snap it in. That's done. Now just put your air filter back in. Set the air filter in, and I am going to go get another air filter. I just don't happen to have one at the moment. Set the air filter in. The lid to the air box. It's really not that difficult, people. I'm just having to do it with one hand. This is what I do to help you guys out. Alright. You get everything all lined up. You'll know what it's lined up because it just kind of falls right down inside the groove. That snaps. That snaps. That snaps. Tell you what I'll do sometime. I'll make a video just dedicated to changing air filters, like general maintenance, because I have one for changing oil. I'll do one for changing air filter too. Those just snap in. This, pull back over top of this. And when I do make the air filter one, I'm going to have somebody out here to hold the camera for me for another set of hands. There. Alright, that slides up on there. Then what you want to take, you squeeze this together, lock them in. Don't forget to hook this up. You know, I would say it's a sign of things warming up out here, because actually it is like 62 degrees out here right now. I would say it's a sign of warming up that the ice cream man's coming through, but he came through the other day and it was 40 degrees outside. Alright, don't forget this one. Switch hands on you again. It's a little snug going on if that snaps on. The only thing we got left to do now is I'll pull this boot up a little more, squeeze it together, tighten it up a little more so it doesn't air leak. And there you go. That's how you change the belt. Look at that, ain't that pretty? It's all brand new. Get my screwdriver off there before I forget it. Alright everybody, there you go. That's how to change a fan belt on a 1991 YJ Wrangler. You guys like my videos? Give me a thumbs up. If you guys like all my videos, you guys like my channel, subscribe. That way you will get notified each time I do some kind of fix-it repair, or who knows what kind of random thing I may do. But you'll get notified when I do it. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me. Hope you guys learned something. Hope this helps you guys out. So, everyone, have yourself a great day. I'm fixing to run to the grocery store and get me some grub. So anyway, y'all have yourselves a great day. Peace out. See y'all.